Ig Nobel. Ig Nobel.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 14th First Annual Ig Nobel Prize Ceremony. I'm Karen Hopkin, the creator of the Stud Muffins of Science calendar. Thank you. And I welcome you. We're gathered here tonight in Sanders Theater at Harvard University. Tonight's proceedings will be simultaneously presented in Dutch.
Delen van deze avond zullen in het Nederlands vertaald worden.
And simultaneously presented in Russian.
Сегодняшнее представление будет переводиться на русский.
And simultaneously presented in Japanese.
日本語の同時通訳ほど簡単です。I haven't yet finished.
And simultaneously presented in Ukrainian.
Ця програма буде переводжена на українську мову.
And simultaneously presented in Morse code. We begin tonight with the entrance of the Nobel laureates, the Ig Nobel Prize winners, the 24/7 lecturers, and other assorted dignitaries.
Мы начинаем с торжественного.
Here they come. It's a particularly attractive bunch, I must say. A tasty sampling of important, very important people. I think they're still coming. Quite a few of them. The never-ending parade of hangers-on and other dignitaries. Now that's a feather boa. Is that it then? Oh, not quite. They're still coming. Yes. And now, the grand introduction of the delegations, led, as always, by the exalted Grand High Panjandrum of Delegations, Louise Sacco. As we introduce each delegation, it will make its presence known by standing up and twirling in place 3 times, counterclockwise. Please, greet them all with the respect they deserve. Okay, let's begin the introductions. As usual, the first marching delegation consists of lawyers. This year they are the lawyers for and against diet. Next, we have the Northeastern University chapter of the Society of Physics Students. Their delegation was delighted to get the visas they needed to cross the Charles River for this event. Also marching this evening, Fop-F, the fans of pink flamingos. They remind everyone to look for the Don Featherstone signature to be sure you're getting the real deal. And Boston Mensa, the society for people who achieve abnormal scores on certain psychological tests. Also marching tonight, the Human Nutrition Research Center on Aging at Tufts University. They represent key dietary concepts. Finally, three very important Harvard student delegations are here tonight as sponsors, as delegates, and in other critical roles. That's enough. They are the Harvard Radcliffe Society of Physics Students. The Harvard Computer Society. The Harvard Radcliffe Science Fiction Association. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, literati, glitterati, and pseudo-intellectuals, may I introduce our Master of Ceremonies, the editor of the Annals of Improbable Research, Chief Airhead, Mark Abrams.
Thank you. Thank you. We are gathered here tonight to honor people whose achievements cannot or should not be reproduced. Every winner has done something that first makes people laugh and then makes them think. The Ig Nobel Prize ceremony is produced by the humor magazine, the Annals of Improbable Research, and proudly co-sponsored by the Harvard Radcliffe Science Fiction Association, and by the Harvard Computer Society, and by the Harvard Radcliffe Society of Physics Students, and by the new book called the Ig Nobel Prizes, published by Plume, ISBN 0452285739, and in the United Kingdom by the new book Why Chickens Prefer Beautiful Humans, published by Orion, ISBN 07528684662. Tonight, 10 prizes will be given. The achievements speak for themselves, all too eloquently. Now, let me introduce the several hundred people who are on our stage. First, our Nobel laureates. A 1993 Nobel laureate in physiology or medicine from New England Biolabs, Rich Roberts. A 1986 Nobel laureate in chemistry from Harvard University, Dudley Hirschbach. A 1976 Nobel laureate in chemistry from Harvard University, William Lipscomb. A 1990 Nobel laureate in physics, Jerome Friedman. as usual, was prevented at the last moment from joining us. He appears now via the magic of audio tape and slide. Has he anything to say? An uncharacteristic silence from Professor Friedman.
It's a very special occasion. It is an outstanding event. The results that are being recognized here are truly awesome. I hope all of you are enjoying this occasion as much as I am.
Thank you, Professor Friedman. Now, let us meet some of the other authority figures who are on our stage. Our Major Domo, Gary Dreyfus. Our Minor Domos, Genevieve Reynolds, Julia Luanetta, Anna Elisiva, James Mahoney, Pico Todd, and Natasha Rosenberg. Our Minor Domo, Ellen Mahoney. Our Lurking Presences, Robin Abrams, Stanley Eigen, and Tom Ulrich. They are lurking somewhere. Our performing Swedish scientists, Joost Bonson, Daniel Rosenberg, and Saul Griffith. The human spotlights, glittery Jim Brett and Katrina Rosenberg. The human curtain rods, Isabel Rosenberg and Maria Elisiva. The official keeper of the mop, who will sweep detritus from the stage, Roy Glauber. Somewhere, and Matt. The Ig Nobel referee, Mr. John Barrett. And for those who are worried about sex and violence, our V-chip monitor will attempt to block anything offensive from reaching your eyes, ears, or fingertips. Here is our V-chip monitor, prominent New York attorney William J. Maloney. Mr. Maloney, will you express your displeasure, please? Thank you. As you know, we used to have a problem at this ceremony. Many of the speakers would exceed their allotted amount of speaking time. Here's how we now solve that problem. Please welcome the charming, delightful, ever so cute Miss Sweetie Poo. Miss Sweetie Poo is 9 years old. Miss Sweetie Poo, would you please demonstrate, Miss Sweetie Poo, what you'll do whenever a speaker exceeds his or her allotted time?
Please stop, I'm bored. Please stop, I'm bored. Please stop, I'm bored.
Thank you, Miss Sweetie Poo. Thank you, Miss Sweetie Poo. On with the endless introductions. Our house musicians, the group The Igleaves, Nick Karstoyu and himself. Our Ig Nobel operatic pianist, Greg Neal. And there are other important people up here. You will meet them later. We are being telecast live on the internet thanks to generous support from the Harvard Extension School. And thanks also to the people at Real Networks. The ceremony will later be broadcast on National Public Radio's Talk of the Nation Science Friday with Ira Flato. That will be on the day after Thanksgiving. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce our presiding monarchs. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the King and Queen, their Majesties, the King, and possibly the Queen of Swedish meatballs. By custom, they are perfectly matched in height. Thank you. You may be seated. And now, Miriam Bloom will deliver the traditional Ig Nobel Welcome, Welcome speech.
Welcome, welcome.
The editors of the Annals of Improbable Research have chosen a theme for this year's ceremony. This year's theme is diet. To introduce our theme of diet, or at least to say hello, here is our keynote speaker. In 2003, our keynote speaker was awarded an Ig Nobel Prize for publishing more than 80 academic reports about things that annoyed him. Please welcome from the Zicklin School of Business in New York City, Professor John Trinkus.
I appreciate it if you don't start the clock yet. I'd like to have another Twinkie. Twinkies are so good. I got a whole pocket full of these. Everybody should have Twinkies. They're great stuff. Twinkies. Have a Twinkie, sir. Here you go, boss. Have a Twinkie. There you go. You folks look like Twinkies. They're good. You're gonna like them. There you go. There you go. And there you go. That's all I got. I got it. The rest are out in the truck. Okay? That's all I brought, type of thing. Okay. Now you can start the clock. Okay? Diets go back probably to the start of time. Eve had an apple diet that she had Adam on. And we talk about the ancient Greeks. You thought they were talking about philosophical things like the meaning of life. They were talking about diets. You had the ancient Romans. You thought they were talking about the design of the new catapult. Diets. The medieval period, you thought the lords were talking about increased productivity for the serfs. No. Diets. Elizabeth You thought she was talking about expanding the empire? No, diets. But none of them worked. Even the famous Trinkus Brussels sprouts diet did not work. Seems nobody liked Brussels sprouts. But tonight you're going to get the straight scoop about diets. And remember, you heard it here first. Another Ig Nobel first. Okay? You paying attention? Should pay attention, because it might be on the final. You never can tell. Okay, here we go. And there you have it. All can be summed up in 4 words. And you should remember these 4 words. Keep your mouth shut.
That was the keynote address. Here to deliver the off-keynote address is the winner of the 2003 Ig Nobel Biology Prize. He was honored for scientifically documenting the first known case of homosexual necrophilia in the mallard duck. Please welcome from the Nature Museum Rotterdam in the Netherlands, Kees Polleker.
I was asked today to address you on the subject of diet. So I will say a few words about duck. When it is prepared properly, duck can be a surprising addition to any meal. I thought you might want to know that. And by the way, before I say goodbye, I thank the Harvard Museum of Comparative Zoology for borrowing me this duck. Thank you.
That was the off-keynote address. The off-keynote address will be delivered by Nobel laureate William Lipscomb.
Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we diet.
Good evening. I am Dr. Micheline Matthews-Roth of the Harvard Medical School, and tonight, as you know, the theme is diet, and tonight's ceremony includes a scientific experiment, a comparison test of several popular diets. We have here 3 volunteers. For the duration of tonight's ceremony, each volunteer will strictly adhere to a different diet for an entire hour. Each will eat nothing that is forbidden by his or her diet. We will weigh each volunteer now and then weigh each of them again at the end of the hour. This will be the first truly scientific comparison test of these diets. This is newsworthy. The fact that it's pointless is beside the point. Here we go. Dr. Michel, please measure and record the pre-test weight of each volunteer. Volunteer number 1 will adhere to a low carbohydrate, high protein diet. Dr. Michel, have you recorded the weight? Good. Volunteer number 2 will adhere to a high carbohydrate, low protein diet. Dr. Michelle, have you recorded the weight? Good. Volunteer number 3 will adhere to a vegan diet. And again, Dr. Michelle, will you record the weight? Good. Thank you, doctor. Thank you, volunteers. Good luck on your diets.
Now, before we begin announcing this year's Ig Nobel Prize winners, here is a musical treat, the world premiere of a new mini opera entitled The Atkins Diet Opera. There are 4 acts, 1 now, 3 later. The opera stars Jason McStutes, Margot Button, Jane Tankersley, and many of the scientists who are with us tonight. Now, here is our narrator, Karen Hopkin.
Thank you, Mark. As you heard, tonight's opera is in 4 acts, 1 now, 3 later. The opera is about a legend, purely a legend. It has no basis in fact, none, zip, zero. At least we hope not. Be that as it may, let's join the legendary Dr. Atkins as he tells us that with encouragement from his girlfriend, he's going to write a book.
Thanks. As to whether she's fat or she's thin, there's no consequence. My made-up rules make Jane grin. She pretends they make sense. I say eat this but not that, and we both laugh like fools. We love to eat, chew the fat. It's delicious, and Jane always drools. We'll get rich overnight if I write a book, if it features the right kind of gobbledegook. I'm a licensed MD whom patients obey, so they will buy my book and try to do anything I say.
Jason McStutes. And now let's get it over with, ladies and gentlemen, the awarding of the 2004 Ig Nobel Prizes. We are giving out 10 prizes. The winners come from nations on several continents. This year's winners have truly earned their prizes. Karen, please tell them what they've won.
This year's winners will each receive an Ig Nobel Prize.
What else?
And a piece of paper saying they've won an Ig Nobel Prize.
And what else?
Well, it's signed by several laureates.
Good. Anything else?
Not that I'm aware of.
How wonderful. Thank you, Karen. Now this is the coveted Ig Nobel Prize. And now our winners. The Medicine Prize. The Ig Nobel Medicine Prize this year is awarded to Stephen Stack of Wayne State University and James Gundlach of Auburn University for their published report, The Effect of Country Music on Suicide.
There's an old country music joke that starts out, what do you get when you play a country record backwards? AA works, guns disappear, your spouse, your kids, and your dog come back. And the boss's son-in-law who got that job that should have been your promotion got caught in bed with the boss's secretary. You got your promotion and the future looks bright. Now, studies have shown that every one of these reversals, except the dog, has been related to reduced suicide risk. And if anybody's interested in funding research on pets and suicide, please contact Steve Stack or me. Thank you.
The Physics Prize. The Ig Nobel Physics Prize is awarded this year to Ramesh Balasubramaniam of the University of Ottawa and Michael Turvey of the University of Connecticut and Yale University for exploring and explaining the dynamics of hula hooping.
Oh, we're absolutely delighted to get this award.
We are most delighted, and now that we've resolved the fad of the 50s, hula hooping, I have a grand idea. How about a fad of the 30s, swallowing goldfish?
Oh,
what do you think? What do you think?
I like that. I like that very much. I think we should study swallowing goldfish while hula hooping.
Brilliant.
I think we'll win the Ig Nobel Prize in medicine for that one. What do you think?
The effects on heart?
The effects on heart?
Healthier heart, swallow goldfish, hula hoop.
Excellent.
We'll be back.
Excellent. We'll be back next year for the medicine prize.
We have a demonstration. Could we please have the demonstration? It comes in two parts. First, part A. Thank you. And now, the Nobel laureates will perform part B of our demonstration. Gentlemen.
please join me in a moment of science.
The Public Health Prize, the Ig Nobel Prize for Public Health, is awarded to Jillian Clark of the Chicago High School for Agricultural Sciences and then of Howard University in Washington, D.C. for investigating the scientific validity of the 5-second rule about whether it's safe to eat food that's been dropped on the floor.
Well, hello, I'm Jillian, as he said. Have any of you ever heard of the 5-second rule? Okay, I basically proved the science behind it. We went around at the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign. We swabbed floors to get the microflora count on floors, and we found that floors generally have no bacteria. So if you do drop something on the floor, you can eat it and nothing will happen.
We do not have a demonstration. And now, Act 2 of our mini-opera, the Atkins Diet Opera. Here is our narrator, Karen Hopkin.
Dr. Atkins is all set to write his diet book. But first, there's a little something he needs to do. He has to choose one food, one simple, basic foodstuff, to be the basis of the Atkins diet. But there are so many different foods to choose from. Which one will he pick? Like all good-hearted people, Dr. Atkins often looks to his pet cats for inspiration. Join us now as Dr. Atkins relaxes out in his yard, watching his cats interact with nature.
like to eat a cow, and I'm the winner of a cow. Meow.
Bad kitty.
I like to chew on slugs. Apples are nice, delicious bugs. Back when I'd bunch on lice. But what I really want is mice. I like to baby dice as nutritious as lice. The ratio of mice to lice is quite precise. Don't get me wrong, though. I do eat veggies with my mice. I do eat vegetables. Yes, I know veggies too sometimes. Lots of kinds of meats and grass and seeds and other kinds of things and even rice.
Jane Tankersley, the Chemistry Prize. The Ig Nobel Chemistry Prize this year is awarded to the Coca-Cola Company of Great Britain for using advanced technology to convert liquid from the River Thames into Dasani, a transparent form of water which for precautionary reasons has been made unavailable to consumers. The winners could not or would not be with us tonight, but here with a personal tribute to water is Nobel laureate Dudley Hirschbach.
Thank you. This is the third Ig Nobel Prize that has been awarded for remarkable experiments with water. You might like to remember that the very first Ig Nobel Prize in Chemistry went to Jean Benveniste of France for his notorious discovery that dilution of a solution containing a biologically active drug increased its efficacy even at dilutions corresponding to 1 molecule per 120 swimming pools. The second prize, only 6 years later, went again to Jean Benveniste, the only person so far to win 2 Ig Nobel Prizes. He showed that the effect of such biological agents could be transferred over huge distances with no loss of efficacy. He reported that he demonstrated in thousands of experiments that you merely needed to make a tape recording in the audio range of the feeble sounds emitted from his super dilute solutions, transmit the sounds over an ordinary phone line, or digitize them and send them by internet. Now, some of you may remember that in the awards ceremony, I had the privilege of awarding that one too, I related his discovery to the literary classic by his countryman Proust, that is, the remembrance of things past. I even gave a demonstration that involved water that had certainly passed. But tonight's award, as you've heard, goes to the Coca-Cola Company for a variant of its new brand of allegedly pure bottled water. Marketed in England, it's sold there, as here, under the elegant name Dasani. Launched in England with a £7 million advertising promotion. It was soon, however, discovered that the sophisticated process, which was intended to convert water from the River Thames, marking the price up from 3 pence to 95 pence for a half liter, involved adding chlorine and ozone to shape the taste profile. But it had the effect of leaving bromate at twice the legal limit. It's known as a dangerous carcinogen. Now, students in the audience, if there are any, who took my freshman chemistry class, remembered I always emphasized that regular classic Coca-Cola could only barely be pulled down the drain without violating the law. No, it's actually literally true. Its acidity is only barely below the legal limit. But here, they're 10 times above the legal limit for rum. So again, there's a great connection with the literary classic. I'm thinking of the poem by Samuel Coleridge, Albatross. Water, water everywhere, and not a drop you should drink.
Now get set for something special, the 24/7 lectures. We have invited several of the world's top thinkers to tell us very briefly what they are thinking about. Each 24/7 lecturer will explain her or his subject twice. First, a complete technical description in 24 seconds. And then, after a brief pause, a clear summary that anyone can understand in 7 words. The 24-second time limit will be enforced by our referee, Mr. John Barrett. Mr. Barrett, do you have any advice for our 24/7 lecturers?
Gentlemen, keep it clean.
Thank you, Mr. Barrett. Now let's have the first group of 24/7 lectures.
Is it true that the same technique
Pardon me.
used for the presidential debates tonight? The same rule?
Go ahead.
I was asking whether these same rules had been adopted for this other event that's going on this evening down in Florida.
There may be many similarities. Will the body fat analysts please bar the doors? The first round of 24/7 lectures is about to begin. The first 24/7 lecture will be delivered by Rich Roberts of New England Biolabs, a 1993 Nobel Prize winner in physiology or medicine for discovering the existence of junk DNA. His topic, heredity. First, a complete technical description of the subject in 24 seconds. On your mark, get set, go.
Heredity is a chronic incurable disease that is sexually transmitted and caused by a lethal mixing of human genes and parents. Certain parental unions produce an acute form as found in the House of Lords, Appalachia, and most of Saudi Arabia. Genghis Khan was personally responsible for 25% of the current pandemic. New research shows that President Bush may have a cure in hand. He advocates abstinence, or as they say in Texas, keep it in your genes.
And now a clear summary that anyone can understand in 7 words. On your mark, get set, go.
Heredity means blame your parents, not yourself.
The next 24/7 lecture will be delivered by Eugenie Scott, the director of the National Center for Science Education. Her topic, evolution. First, a complete technical description of the subject in 24 seconds. On your mark, get set, go.
In the beginning, there was a Big Bang, then hydrogen, stars, galaxies, planets, a pale blue dot, a replicating molecule, then a cell, tissues, photosynthesis, metazoa, an inordinate number of beetles, lions and tigers and Steves, oh my, and consciousness to figure it all out and wonder at it all.
And now, a clear summary that anyone can understand in 7 words. On your mark, get set, go.
Evolution is the history of the universe.
The Engineering Prize. The Engineering Prize is awarded this year to Donald J. Smith and his father, the late Frank J. Smith of Orlando, Florida, for patent
not in a good way in the last 2 months. So I understand that some of the most brilliant scientific minds are here this evening or watching this. So I have a personal request that you put aside your research of, variants of toenail lengths and indigenous tribes and try to work this hurricane thing out. If we can get this all taken care of, I'm taking everyone to Disney World, my treat, okay? All right, great. Now with that said, my sister and I are here to accept this award on behalf of my grandfather, Frank J. Smith. As you can see there in the post-comb-over stage. Frank was a true American folk hero who always had a great sense of humor and would have enjoyed receiving this award tonight and would have appreciated the spirit in which it was given. It's important to note that Frank Smith did not actually invent the comb-over. One merely has to view the portraits of Renaissance nobility or the bust of Roman patricians to see that the comb-over was in practice long before Frank Smith came along. The purpose of patenting the comb-over was to record, document, and preserve the comb-over for posterity. He knew that there was a movement afoot, and some people even say a government conspiracy, to wipe the comb-over off the face of the earth. Many people believe that Benjamin Franklin and George Washington actually sported the comb-over and that powerful forces within the government had their portraits altered to erase this historical fact. Do you know who Britney Spears is? She's in the back. If you can go over there, you can get your autograph. So anyways, I would just like to say that the comb-over is not about hair. The comb-over is about heritage. Comb on, brothers. Comb on. Thank you.
We do not have a demonstration. We do not need a demonstration. The Literature Prize. The Ig Nobel Literature Prize this year is awarded to the American Nudist Research Library of Kissimmee, Florida, for preserving nudist history so the rest of us can see it.
Wow. This would be a whole lot easier if we were at the library and I just didn't have to imagine you naked. I'm actually here just accepting the award on behalf of the American Nudist Research Library, which is located on the grounds of the beautiful Cypress Cove Nudist Resort in Kissimmee, Florida. I was recruited for this job by my mother, who is the president of the American Nudist Research Library. Let's hear it from my mom. I am not from Kissimmee, Florida. I am, though, from Holyoke, Massachusetts, which is the home of the Volleyball Hall of Fame. We've identified the nudists in the audience. The board and officers, as mentioned the weather, the board and officers asked me to convey their regrets that they aren't able to attend, but no one had a thing to wear. So anyway, the library actually, this is its 25th anniversary. It's an all-volunteer library, started in 1979. It's a library of over 7,000 volumes. There are researchers from New Zealand, Australia, Japan, England, and Canada who all pilgrimage to Kissimmee, Florida to go look in the archives at the library, looking for things like sunshine and health, British naturism, and travel naturally. So, and I'm thinking that when the Library of Congress funds are cut, then this will be, you know, what goes. So let's hear it for the American.
Please stop. I'm bored. Please
We have a demonstration. And now, Act 3 of our mini-opera. Here is our narrator, Karen Hopkin.
Thank you, Mark. Meat, 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 meat. As all the world knows, Dr. Atkins chose meat as the basis for his diet. And the public, I say the public, went crazy, buying as many copies of his diet book as they could get their ravenous little hands on. Of course, Dr. Atkins helped this along with some good basic salesmanship. Let's join Dr. Atkins now as he sings the well-balanced third act of tonight's opera.
Some doctors say an apple a day makes a perfect diet regimen. Some make you pledge, eat nothing but veg for a perfect diet regimen. Many diets I have heard cut your intake to a third. They're perfect diets, at least if you're a bird. You'll eat just like a cat, and a nice fat cat at that, with my perfect diet regimen. First, understand that protein is grand in my perfect diet regimen. Then nice juicy meat is what you should eat in a perfect diet regimen. Eat like an aristocrat, lots of steak and lots of fat, bloody good eating. And what's wrong with that? Eat it cooked, eat it raw, oh just go ahead and gnaw. It's a perfect diet regimen. People demand that something be banned in a perfect diet regimen. That's why I said, thou shalt not eat bread in a perfect diet regimen. I've identified the traits that make carbohydrates one leading cause of high suicide rates. So forget the French fries, that is not what I advise in a perfect diet regimen. Want to lose weight, want to feel great, try my perfect diet regimen. It's no conceit to say it's complete, it's my perfect diet regimen. Course my diet can't erase laws that nature put in place. What really matters is just don't stuff your face. But please put that aside, oh I urge you now with pride, try my perfect diet regimen.
And now, please join me for a moment of science.
We're now going to show you a video. Try your best to count the number of times the players wearing white shirts pass the ball. This task is hard because the players sometimes fake passes and move around each other. All you have to do is count the total number of times the players in white pass the ball. The task is even harder because there are also 3 players in black shirts passing their own ball and moving around as well. You should only count the passes by the players wearing white. The task is difficult, so please remain silent during the video.
The Psychology Prize. This year's Psychology Prize is awarded to Daniel Simons of the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign and Christopher Chabris of Harvard University for demonstrating that when people pay close attention to something, it's all too easy to overlook anything else, even a man in a gorilla suit.
I'm Dan, this is Chris. Why don't you watch that video again?
Our results show just how oblivious people can be to what's going on in the world around them. We did this study as an exercise in a class we taught here 6 years ago. It worked really well at Harvard. But because of the student-faculty ratio, we have a lot of people to thank for working on the project with us.
First, two of the giants of American psychology, Dick Neisser, whose work in the 1970s inspired our study, and Jerry Kagan, who works here, who lent us his gorilla suit.
And now the cast and crew, starring Elisa Chang as the gorilla,
Judith Danovich, white player number 1, Steve Most, white player number 2, Alex Wong, white player number 3, Amy Diapoli, black player number 1,
Jason J, black player number 2, Megan White, black player number 3,
Dan Ellard, best boy, Latanya James, key grip, Larry Taylor, choreography.
And now it's time for the Win a Date with a Nobel Laureate contest. And here's Karen Hopkin to tell you about our laureate. Karen?
Thank you, Cupcake. Sweet, smart, and totally studly. This year's Win-a-Date prize is our man Dudley. Hirschbach, that is. A native Californian who knows how to milk a cow, Dudley Hirschbach won a Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1986 for studying the dynamics of stripping reactions. In his spare time, Dudley enjoys quiet evenings at home and strongly correlated many-particle interactions. Who would not want to take this man home? Please give a warm Win-a-Date welcome to Nobel hottie, Dudley Hirschbach.
Now, let's see which lucky audience member will win a date with this Nobel laureate. When you entered the hall, the ushers handed you an attractive printed program. Please open that program to page 6. One program has a special picture there of Louis Pasteur milking a cow. If you have the program with that picture, then you have won a date with this Nobel laureate. Please come up. The Economics Prize. This year's Ig Nobel Prize in Economics is awarded to the Vatican for outsourcing prayers to India. The winners could not or would not be with us tonight, and no, we do not have a demonstration. Will the food pyramid architects bar the doors? The second and final round of 24/7 lectures is about to begin. The next 24/7 lecture will be delivered by Dr. Barry Sears, creator of the Zone Diet. His topic, diet. First, a complete technical description of the subject in 24 seconds. On your mark, get set, go.
You balance protein, carbohydrate, and fat at every meal to keep your hormones, insulin, glucagon, and eicosanoids in a zone.
And now a clear summary that anyone can understand in 7 words. On your mark, get set, go.
Hormonally speaking, you are what you eat.
The final 24/7 lecture will be delivered by deep ocean explorer Sylvia Earle, the National Geographic Society's explorer in residence. Her topic, oceanography. First, a complete technical description of the subject in 24 seconds. On your mark, get set, go.
The science of exploring 60,000 kilometers of mountains, 97% of life on Earth, 97% of Earth's water, with 0.0097% of the funding needed to do the job. Accomplished by boatloads of people who naturally go overboard, are always in deep thought or deep trouble, whose business is going under, who pride themselves in being all wet and deal with drips all the time. Do it or diet.
And now, a clear summary that anyone can understand in 7 words. On your mark, get set.
I have 2.
And now the first of 2 summaries, each 7 words, that anyone can understand due to their extreme and excessive clarity. On your mark, get set, go.
Scientific exploration of most of the Earth. That's 1.
Yep. Now go back to your mark and get set, go.
Scientifically plunging in way over your head.
The Peace Prize. The Ig Nobel Peace Prize is awarded this year to Daisuke Inoue of Hyogo, Japan, for inventing karaoke, thereby Let me read to you the complete citation. The complete citation, not yet, whatever you have in mind. The complete citation says the prize is for inventing karaoke, thereby providing an entirely new way for people to learn to tolerate each other. Here is our winner.
Thank you. Made in
ジャパニーズ・イングリッシュを少しだけ。Hello, everyone. I am Daisuke Inoue. I am from Japan. I am a last samurai. Mini Chomage. But tonight, Tom Cruise can't come. 真面目に Actually, I am the inventor of karaoke. Inventor of karaoke. I am very happy to be here and nominated for the Ig Nobel Peace Prize. Once a time, I had a dream to teach people to swing. So I invented the karaoke machine. I don't know, it was the start of something of big. Now, more than ever, I want to teach the world to sing perfect harmony. You see? Coca-Cola. Let's party! Thank you! ありがとうございました。
And now, here are Karen Hopkin and the Nobel laureates with a special personal tribute to Mr. Inoue.
The boys and I wanted to sing you a little song.
We have some music with this?
Yes, there's music. This one's for you, Mr. Inoue. You're just too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. How I hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God for that. You're just too good to be true. Yeah, can't take our eyes off of you. Oh yeah. That's good. I want everyone singing. Bring out the love. I love you, baby. It's quite alright after today. For the lonely nights, trust in me when I say, oh, pretty baby, let us love
And now the final prize of the evening, the Biology Prize. The Ig Nobel Biology Prize this year is awarded to Ben Wilson of the University of British Columbia, Lawrence Dill of Simon Fraser University, Robert Batty of the Scottish Association for Marine Science, Magnus Wahlberg of the University of Aarhus, and Håkan Westerberg of Sweden's National Board of Fisheries for showing that herrings apparently communicate by farting.
Thank you. So, I think this subject is very appropriate for the theme of this evening. A herring swallows air, and if you do that, you get gas, and then if you fart underwater, it makes very peculiar sounds. So, I want to invite all of you to the lectures on Saturday when we will explain why if submarines fart. And I send a special thank to the Swedish Navy who sponsored this research.
They didn't sponsor our research. We have to thank others for that, but there are too many to mention. What I should say is just to remind you of some of the things we heard earlier this evening about many dilutions within water. Just think next time you take a swim in the sea, herring have been farting in there. But I also must say that the first proof that it was communication was because I heard it over the telephone. Ben Wilson played the sound to me over the telephone and asked me if I had any idea how the herring might be making this. And so it went from there. Ben couldn't be here tonight. We wish he could, but our other colleague, Larry Dill, is.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that, explain the communication thing. We believe that the herring are probably speaking to one another to maintain the coherence of their school. It's sort of a bonding thing. But then pre-adolescent boys have been doing this for millennia, I think. Anyway, I just wanted to say how flattered we are to be here in this seat of learning, and it's been a gas. Thank you.
And now we have a demonstration, an audio recording of the phenomenon.
And simultaneously, in Dutch. And simultaneously in Russian.
No, that's, thank you very much.
And again, I'm back. I'm Dr. Roth from the Harvard Medical School, and now it's time to finish our scientific experiment, our comparison test of several popular diets. Each of our 3 volunteers has strictly adhered to his or her diet. Now we will measure the results. Dr. Michel, please measure and record the post-test weight of each volunteer. Volunteer number 1 has been adhering to a low-carbohydrate, high-protein diet. Doctor, is there any change in weight? No? Good. Volunteer number 2 adhered to a high-carbohydrate, low-protein diet. Dr. Michel, is there any change in weight? No? Good. Volunteer number 3 adhered to a vegan diet. Doctor, is there any change in weight? No? No? Good. Thank you, Dr. Michelle. Thank you, volunteers. We have our data, and we can draw our conclusion. Under sufficiently strict conditions, all diets are equally ineffective. That's our conclusion. It's scientific, it's newsworthy, and the fact that it's pointless is still beside the point. Thank you.
Before we finish up, a reminder, please join us on Saturday afternoon at MIT when the new winners will give free public lectures to explain, if they can, what they did and why they did it. And there also, there will be 2 special treats. For the first, let me remind you about Luwak coffee. Luwak coffee, the world's most expensive coffee, is coffee made from coffee beans that were ingested and then excreted by the luwak, a bobcat-like animal that is native to certain parts of Indonesia. It was honored with the 1995 Ig Nobel Nutrition Prize. At the lectures this Saturday, Professor Massimo Marconi from the University of Guelph. Professor Marconi, could you please stand and take a bow? Professor Marconi will explain his startling new chemical research about luwak coffee, and he will also serve some luwak coffee. And also on Saturday, joining the new winners, and Professor Marconi will be last year's Ig Nobel Biology Prize winner, Case Moliker, who will briefly explain and demonstrate, will briefly explain the story of homosexual necrophilia in the mallard duck. And now the final act of our mini-opera, the Atkins Diet Opera. Our singers will be joined by the Nobel laureates and all the other distinguished scientists who you see here on stage. Here is our narrator, Karen Hopkin.
Thank you, Coffee Bean. As you all know, the Atkins diet became the most popular diet ever. Everyone followed it, and everyone became slim, healthy, and attractive. But now Dr. Atkins has a problem on his hands. What should he do with himself now? Join us as Dr. Atkins and his advisory board of distinguished scientists try to invent an all-new, all-improved, new Atkins diet. What food will they choose as the basis of this new diet? Something simple? Something commonplace? Something other than meat? What food will they choose?
How about tofu? How about tofu? It's great stuff. It's great stuff. Is it titillating? Is it titillating? Not enough. Not enough.
How about spinach? How about spinach? It's great stuff. It's great stuff. Is it stimulating? Is it stimulating? Not enough. Not enough. How about cabbage? How about cabbage? It's great stuff. It's great stuff. Is it captivating? Is it captivating? Not enough. Not enough.
How about tofu? How
Tofu doesn't cut it. Spinach won't fly. And cabbage is discouraging. But you can't keep a good diet doctor down. So join us now in the thrilling conclusion to the opera as Dr. Atkins has a refreshing and inspirational cup of coffee.
Tofu? Spinach? Cabbage? Ugh. It's enough to put you off food entirely. I need a cup of coffee. Coffee! Do you know the coffee diet? Though it seems a bit obscure, there's no reason not to try it. It's so simple and so pure. Coffee's good at elevating your base metabolic rate. Gets your brainstem oscillating. You'll feel great. All you'll drink is coffee, coffee, coffee. Lunch and dinner. Coffee, coffee, coffee. You'll get thinner. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Saint or sinner, all you drink is coffee, 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 Oh, as an appetite suppressant, coffee is incessant, yet it makes you effervescent. Coffee is just so fat, it turns into a habit, keeps you hopping like a rabbit. There's one, it is dietetic, it's a diuretic, makes you go, 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 go. Cannot get you sleep because you want to keep on drinking 'cause it's cheap. Record keeping for this diet is so simple to keep up. All you do to quantify it is to count each coffee cup. They then take more than 20 cups a day. A habit makes, 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 habit, 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 habit. Oh, as an appetite suppressant, coffee is incessant. Coffee is just so fabid, turns into a habit, keeps you hopping like a rabbit. It has no cholesterol, it has no nutrients at all. Coffee, 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 coffee.
Jason McStoots, James Hankersley, Margot Button, and everyone. And now Miriam Bloom will deliver the traditional Ig Nobel goodbye, goodbye speech.
Goodbye, goodbye.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's honor all of the people who put this ceremony together. And now, would the Ig Nobel Prize winners and the Nobel laureates please gather at the front of the stage, at center stage, so we can have a pointless photo opportunity? Don't be shy. Whack your hands together and shower them with self-esteem. Join us Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock at MIT for the free lectures, please. And that's it for this year, except for one final thought. If you didn't win an Ig Nobel Prize this year, and especially if you did, better luck next year. Thank you.